Investors are meeting in the cartel's brand new headquarters in Vienna. The world's biggest oil-producing nations are widely expected to leave production unchanged. This as oil hovers around $80 a barrel. Sylvia is in Vienna and is reporting on the twists and turns in this story. Sylvia, let's come back out to you here then. So no change.
Yes, it's a no change, a bit of déjà vu from what we see from the ECB these days, no change, but the story behind the story is the interesting one. Overshooting of quotas. El Badri, the General Secretary of Opec, just told us he doesn't think it's a major problem, but they will discuss it. And from other ministers we heard, yeah, well, output quotas are important, but you can overshoot a little if the price is right. So take this with a little bit of a pragmatic approach. But is the price right, and where are we going to go with price? We want to talk a little bit further about this with Thomas Bachheimer from Meridian Commodities Advisors. Thomas, thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Now, the oil price crept up softly from the 30 or odd barrels to 80. In earlier days, we thought the world would collapse then. It hasn't collapsed so far. But what do you think is driving the oil price these days?
I'm an Austrian, and we are in Austria right now, and I'm a fan of Austrian economists. And the Austrian economists say that mainly the money supply is responsible for any price action in commodity prices. So we had huge money supply in the United States between 2004 and 2008. We had credit expansion in States and in Europe, and I think this is responsible. And we are not allowed to forget we had some credit expansion 2008-9 and the beginning 2010 in China, because they wanted to drive their domestic market. And I think this might be responsible for the price up move in the last couple of years, and the last year especially.
So all the liquidity that's sloshing around in the market is driving essentially the speculative bubble in the oil price as well.
Yes, money supply is creating bubbles, and if it's very populistic argument by presidents and by central bankers that speculation is the driving factor. The speculation, with which money are we speculating? With the money which is not really needed and not really used. And so this money, which is created and stuck in the pipeline between central banks and the real economy, this is the money which is used now for speculation. So if you want to ban speculation, you are you don't get rid of your money which you are producing, Mr. President Obama.
Quite right. Now, if we're talking about where we're heading with the oil price right now, certainly still plenty of extra liquidity slushing around in the markets. But on the other hand, we have a sort of iffy situation on the general economy, because the data we're getting from both sides of the pond are mixed at best. Yeah. Do you think the oil price is going to head south or north?
For the next couple of months, of course, I think we will go north. We will go up till 110, 120. It would be my estimation, because of the money supply, which started in September 2009, especially when 2008, when we had the beginning of the crisis. So, and 18 months later, it should come out in the oil price again. So I think till summer, we will have higher oil prices, especially because we are now in the strongest seasonality of oil prices till end of May. And then it depends on the real economy, and I don't know what is going to happen. It will be a tense situation. Probably we will lose terrain and come back to these stages where we are right now.
Now, oil is, of course, not the only commodity that we're talking about and you're talking about. The gold price is also one that's very interesting these days.
Of course, gold price is always indicating inflation. Oil is inflation. And the gold price made a huge move up in the last 4 months. And the oil price tends to follow between 9 and 24 months. The more nearer the point is when the oil is following the gold, the higher will be the inflationary tendency. So I see, which is coming now 5 months after we started in September, with increase of gold price, 5 months now, we are seeing now the big move up in oil.
Certainly interesting times for commodities prices right now. We have to leave it there, Thomas. Thomas Bachheimer from Meridian Commodities Advisors. That's it from us here. More about it later.